Hello everyone, how are you doing all? I hope everyone is doing good and great. I am Mahesh, your physics teacher, and you're watching me on SMR Online Physics, right? Today we are going to discuss something very important to understand physics at its more beautiful level. We need some mathematics to understand physics, as you already know that. So one of the very important mathematics is to deal with the vector quantities. The physical quantities which have both magnitude as well as direction. So when we talk about scalar quantities, the physical quantities which have only magnitude but have nothing to do with the direction, for example like mass of the bodies, temperature, or even if you say distances traveled, the speed of a body, or even if you talk about pressure or electric current. These are all like numbers expressed in proper system of units. But we do not have to really specify or bother about direction. So these quantities which we call scalars, mind you, the scalar means a number, magnitude, the size of the quantity, which has nothing to do with the direction. So they obey the ordinary rules of algebraic addition or subtraction, multiplication and division. But when it comes to vector quantities, the physical quantities which have both magnitude and direction, like displacement of a body, the velocity of a body, the acceleration of the body, like momentum, the linear momentum, the angular momentum, and the forces, all the forces we can discuss about. All are vector quantities. So it always makes sense to ask how much force you have applied and which direction is the force applied. So when we have to deal with direction, we need a very special language that is called vector algebra. The vectors, the vector mathematics. So today in this class, I am going to start a series of lectures on how to deal with vectors and how it is going to make you really understand physics at its more beautiful level and make you stronger with the foundations of all physics. Right? I think everyone is ready to go. So get started with the topic on scalars and vectors. Scalars and vectors. So as I already told in my introduction, what are scalars and what are vectors? So scalars is just like a number, right? Vectors is number with directions, magnitude with direction. So let us be more specific with vectors. So when I talk about vectors, and when I was talking about scalars and I was talking about vectors, let us make it very simple now. A physical quantity which has only magnitude but no direction are called scalar quantities. Very simple. Are called scalars or scalar physical quantities. Immediately we can write down the examples of which we are going to discuss in physics. We can always start with like saying distance traveled is a scalar. Point A to point B is 50 meters. Yes, it makes some sense. Not completely, right? Then you can talk about speed, the rate at which the distance is covered, the mass of a body, the electric current flowing through a conductor. Or then you talk about even temperature. Etc. These are all plentiful of scalar quantities are also there. They do not completely specify. But on the other hand, when I talk about vectors, it is a physical quantity which has both magnitude as well as direction. Is called a vector quantity. The word vector actually comes from the Latin word vehere. Vehere means to show direction. Okay, it has direction. So the very common examples, well-known examples which you have come across already in physics studies, definitely yes. We can say, we can start with the displacement of a body is a vector quantity. So whenever we talk vectors, we need to show some special respect towards those quantities, right? Because they have also direction. We will see how to deal with it. So displacement, velocity, acceleration, the forces, all are vector quantities. The momentums are vector quantities. Angular momentum, linear momentum, these are all vector quantities, right? So I hope you got the introduction very clear. Okay, so please note it down. You can pause it down, and if you note it down, it will be really good. In the meanwhile, yes. But we have an additional definition to vectors. This will not be enough, as I will show you, right? Okay, so I think I can run it. So when I say electric current is a scalar quantity, some of the students who are watching very carefully might be thinking about how come electric current is a scalar quantity, right? Because it has direction. I have learned that it has direction. Yes, you are correct. Electric current is also specified with direction. Let me show you one simple example here. Why it should be called as scalar, not as a vector? Okay, let us take this example. Suppose these are like three pieces of wires carrying some current. So there is some current flowing in this wire towards O. Let us say the current is I1 amperes. There is some current flowing in the wire from B towards O also. Let us say it is I2 amperes. So this is a junction. This is an electrical junction. And this is the third wire coming out towards C. So how much current should come out of it? According to the law of conservation of charge, the amount of charge entering into A and the amount of charge leaving the O has to be the same. Amount of charge entering through the B and amount of charge leaving through the O should be the same. So if I1 amperes is flowing, I2 amperes is flowing out here, the current here, which I will call I3, is a simple algebraic addition of I1 plus I2. Absolutely correct. In terms of numbers, if you want, suppose 2 amperes flowing that way, 3 amperes flowing this way, then how much is I3? You can just comfortably say it has to be 5 amperes out. According to the law of conservation of charge, it's a very ordinary algebraic addition. Yeah, definitely there is direction to be taken care of, but I did not really take care of everything which was there. There was also an angle gap between these two. I really did not bother about that theta at all. Right? If electric current was really a vector quantity, my dear, then I3 would not be equal to I1 plus I2. So it also means immediately that a vector quantity has magnitude, has direction, but also obeys certain rules of vector addition. What is that certain rule? We can say it like a physical quantity which has both magnitude and direction and also obeys parallelogram law of vector addition. Parallelogram law of vector addition can be called as a vector quantity. So that is the difference between calling a scalar and a vector. It is not only about magnitude and direction, it is also how the vectors need to be added up. They do not obey the ordinary rules of algebraic addition. Okay, so let us get into vectors right now. I think everybody got the basics right. Everybody has used vectors in their real life, my dear. Everybody has used it. Suppose you go to a strange place and you ask for that particular address. That person, if the person has some idea about that particular address correctly, then he or she should have guided you by saying, take 10 meters to that left, take a right, go to that, you will find a pawn shop over there, take a left, there will be a huge building in front of you. That is the point. So he is actually pointing arrows only. 10 meters left, 2 meters right, there was a point like pawn shop, go straight, go left. These are all directions. Those are vectors. Those are vectors. So how to really deal with vectors? Let us learn in this class. Okay, na? Right. So when we deal with vectors, first thing I should tell you is that how to represent a vector. How to really represent a vector. What is a vector notation? Vector. How do we represent a vector? Okay. So the idea is very simple. Yes. This is geometrical representation of a vector. Observe it closely. A vector is always represented by an arrow. I will call this as A, this as B. So this A we will call it as initial point. This is called initial point of the vector, or you simply remember it as the tail of the vector. The B is called the terminal point. The terminal point of the vector, or you remember it as head of the vector. That is the terminal point or the head of the vector. So it is pointing in a specific direction. Which direction? How to really understand the direction? Then you always have your imaginary axis for your hand. Make your imaginary x-axis. This is your x-axis direction, my dear. This is your positive x-axis direction. So the angle with your positive x-axis to the vector, this angle theta, will be a measure of the direction in which it is actually pointing out. Right? At the same time, I have drawn this vector of certain length. Has the length also got some sense about it? Has it got any meaning to that? Absolutely yes. Technically speaking, yes. The length of this vector actually indicates what we call the magnitude of the physical quantity. So that length will actually indicate the magnitude of the physical quantity. For example, you want to write this vector AB and you want to draw a displacement vector of 25 meters. How will you show 25 meters on paper, my dear? Definitely not possible. You can't draw a 25 meter line on the paper, not even on this board also. So how do we write this vector? This vector I will write something like this. AB this. This is your vector AB. Vector AB. So there is an arrow above the alphabetical symbol notation. That is a symbol that it is a vector point. Or you can just make it as, and you say that I will call it as vector P. Okay, your choice. You can represent with single alphabet also. That is how we represent vector. Okay. How to represent the magnitude of the vector? Only you want the length of the vector, the size of the vector. Magnitude means what? The size of the quantity. Magnitude refers to the size of the physical quantity. How do we represent that? Very simple. Put the entire notation within two parallel bars. This is called modulus of the vector. This is a mathematical language called modulus of vector P. This is how to read it. So when you are reading it as modulus of vector P, it indicates that you are only bothering about the number, the magnitude of the quantity, that is the size of the quantity. You are not bothered about the direction. So this can be also replaced by writing this. That's it. It's the modulus of the vector. We are talking about the magnitude, as simple as that. Finish. So that we are talking modulus of magnitude, this is how to represent vector. So I was talking about how will you represent a vector showing the displacement of a quantity. Am I clear till here? Am I clear? Give me a like. Come on, great. So let's move forward. Let's enjoy the class, and in the best possible way, let us see how will you denote a vector. Suppose something like this. You wanted to represent vector P, which is equal to 25 meters in length towards positive x direction. So it's very easy to indicate, very easy to indicate this direction and all, because it's single axis direction, something like this. Something like this, you draw a single axis This is your long infinite positive axis. This is your positive axis direction. Choose a point called origin. That's it. Right. So axis of displacement is 25 meters. What I will do is that 1 centimeter of my scale, I will choose a scale now. I will say on my scale, 1 centimeter of my scale will be representing 5 meters. As we do in geometry, as we do it in graph, right? So take it like that. You can just mark it out. This is the 1 point. This is 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter, 5 centimeter. So now this is actually representing a vector. This is representing a vector which is of 25 meters in magnitude, pointing towards positive x direction, towards plus x. So when we are actually dealing with a single dimensional motion, body is actually moving on a single road, straight roads, moving to the positive x-axis, can be represented with plus direction. If the same person goes in the opposite direction, call it as negative, simple. If you are coming reverse, negative. If you are going that way, that is positive. That's by convention, simple. But the real issue begins when the body starts to move in 2 or 3 dimensions. Then how will you indicate the directions? Plus and minus will not be enough there. There you will require the notations of vector algebra. Right? Okay. So let's move forward. How to really represent and what kind of vectors we have. What do we do with all the other vectors? Right? So now we will discuss about angle between 2 vectors. Right? You understood how to represent a vector. What is a vector? You understood, right? So this is very, very important. Any vector can be represented by this. Okay. If you want the magnitude, you put it within the parallel bars. Okay. That will give you the magnitude. Very good. But you should also know the angle between the 2 vectors. Very simple idea. So whenever you put any vector within the parallel bars, that is called modulus mathematically, the number output will be always positive. Always the output will be positive, huh? Never to miss out that. Always the output is a positive number. So how to really measure angle? थोड़ा ध्यान से देखिए इसको. Suppose this is one vector. Okay. Suppose we call this is vector P. Great. There is another vector, and another vector in the question is pointed something like this. This is given to you like this. Okay, so you can clearly see that this is the initial point of the vector O and P. This is the P, the terminal point of the vector P. From here we have a new vector called vector Q, and its terminal point, the terminal point of vector P is actually attached with the initial point of the vector Q. So it's a tail to head connection boleंगे, tail to head connection. So now this is moving towards Q. So definitely you can see there is an angle created here. सही बात है. You can also see that there is another angle between these 2 vectors, beta. Which one is actually the correct angle between the 2 vectors? My dear, the idea is very simple. थोड़ा ध्यान से देखिए, ठीक है ना? You observe it very closely. Very, very simple idea. The first great benefit of vectors is that you can displace the vectors. You can displace the vectors from one point in space to another point in space without changing the magnitude and the direction of the vector. उस पे ध्यान दें. I mean to say, I can displace this vector P from here to here without changing the magnitude and direction. I can displace this vector Q from here to here or here to there, wherever I wish on this entire board, entire space available to me, provided I don't change the magnitude and its direction. So whenever you want to find out the angle between the 2 vectors, my dear, always remember, connect those 2 vectors initial to initial point. Both the vectors should be connected by their initial points, not by their terminal points. Simple language में बोले, tail to tail connection बना के रखें. Make a tail to tail connection, as simple as that. मतलब कैसे होगा देखते हैं. this vector I can easily displace like this. Same magnitude, same direction. So यहाँ पे बना लो उसको. सही बनाया मैंने? This is it. This is your vector Q. That is displaced. वहाँ पे नहीं है बिल्कुल. Now this is the angle. This is the correct angle between the two vectors. That is theta. ये एक तरीका हो सकता था. This is one way of doing it. Or you wanted to not displace vector Q, but you wanted to displace vector P. That is also great. How you would have done it like? You would have drawn vector PQ as it is. जितना भी लंबाई का था इतना ही लंबाई फटाफट बनाएंगे यहाँ पे. इतना ही था ये. This is your vector Q. Very good. Now you see this vector. See this vector. This you wanted to displace. This is the length and this is the direction. बिठा दें यहाँ. That's it. This is your vector P. So connected by their initial points, or you say connected tail to tail. So this angle is absolutely the correct angle of how to measure the angle between any two vectors. Okay na? So anyway, whatever direction I actually give it to you, it is not an issue at all. All you have to remember, you need to connect the vectors tail to tail. For example, I gave you like this, or an example दिखाते फटाफट. This is your vector A, and there is another vector going this way. Another vector going this way. So this is your vector B. बहुत खूब. So what is the angle now? That is my question here. You can easily see there. This is vector. This is another vector. This is also an angle possible alpha. This is also, if you just produce it forward, this is also another angle possible beta. So which one is the correct angle between the two vectors to be considered? The correct answer is beta. Beta कैसे बन गया सही? ये देखो. This vector A can be easily translated forward. आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं इसको. आगे बढ़ाएंगे, same magnitude, same direction रखेंगे. The same thing, that is vector A, and you get this angle. You see that? Tail to tail connection of the two vectors. Very simple. I hope you got it very, very correct. So that is the way to measure the angle between two vectors, right? Okay, great. Now let's quickly move on to some kinds of vectors. Let us try to move into the kinds of vectors. How many kinds of vectors you should actually know? This is the first class. We will start and stop with the basic requirement to move forward. Kinds of vectors. One very important vector you should know. It's going to help us a lot. That is called unit vector. What is unit vector? Again, नाम से पकड़ लो. Just catch up with the name itself. Unit vector. A vector which has a unit magnitude. Unit magnitude मतलब exactly 1. Unit magnitude and points in a specific direction. Points in a specific direction is called as unit vector. Magnitude 1 and points in a specific direction. For example, the most important unit vectors which will be used up again and again, and how it is so important, let us quickly see that. This and this, right? This. So if you observe these three axes which I have drawn right now, this is your x-axis, this is your positive y-axis, this is your positive z-axis. So उतना ही उल्टे जाओगे, ये this is your negative x-axis, negative y-axis, negative z-axis. All the three axes make an angle of 90 degrees with respect to each other. Everybody knows that, right? So x, y, y, z, and even with the x, z, you get 90 degrees coming up. So any vector which is pointing towards the unit vector which is actually pointing towards x-axis is generally specified with I hat or I cap. Similarly, a unit vector which is pointing towards y-axis, the positive y-axis, is denoted by j cap. A unit vector pointing towards positive z-axis is actually given the name k K cap. इसको हम लोग पढ़ेंगे I cap, J cap and K cap. I cap always pointing towards positive x, J cap towards positive y, K cap towards positive z. If you are going towards the negative x-axis, minus I cap. You are going towards negative y-axis, minus J cap. If you are going towards negative z-axis, minus K cap. So please mind it, the unit vectors will always have a magnitude of 1. That's it, okay? It's very, very important to be understood. So any vector, my dear, any vector can be expressed as a product of its magnitude and a unit vector. कैसे लिख सकते हैं देखिए फटाक से. You can write something like this. Vector A can be written as modulus of vector A multiplied by a unit vector eta. The unit vector symbol can be anything. That is a vector pointing in the direction. तो इसका मतलब क्या हो गया? What does it mean that you are representing a vector A as a multiplication of its number, that is magnitude, multiplied with the direction vector. So eta, this eta cap what I have represented over here, this is a unit vector in the direction. That's it. I hope you got my point very clear. Alright. So this is always to be remembered and understood properly. So from here you can always see that eta can be written as vector A divided by modulus of vector A. That's it. कोई confusion नहीं है, all clear है. Unit vector in this direction is always equal to the vector divided by its magnitude. That's it. That is called as the unit vector. The unit vector along the direction of the vector given to you. ठीक है ना? जिस दिशा में है the direction in which you are pointing the vector, it has a unique direction, and that is actually shown by this unit vector. So keep it very clear. A vector is always represented as a product of its magnitude and the unit vector pointing in the direction. Okay, very, very important. All right. बाकी सब धीरे धीरे आगे जाएगा. Great. Anything else you wanted to know? Yes, there is definitely a lot to come. So today I'd like to stop it over here and move forward in my next class. ध्यान से देखें, अगर मजा आ रहा है, continue as usual on SMR Online Physics. Thank you very much. See you again. Bye.